When I started playing Honkai Star Rail 9 months ago, I had just one goal, to get Acheron and main her. And I did manage to get her within the same month, and even got her light cone as well, and for some time I had a great time breezing through the story with her, but with how I mainly roll for characters I like instead of just meta, I didn't really get any of her best supports. And when there was finally an Acheron support that I really liked, Cypher, the Fate collab was right around the corner, so I had to skip her in favor of Saber. And so, even though I used to be an Acheron main, my Acheron slowly but surely fell behind other characters like Firefly at first and then also Saber, until it got to the point where I'm barely using her anymore because I don't have a proper team for her. But today that changes, because now I got Silver Wolf, who after recent buffs is an amazing support and one of the best teammates for Acheron as far as I know. But how much of a difference does she actually make? That's what I wanna test in today's video. Can Silver Wolf really save my Acheron? Let's find out. Okay, first let's take a look at my Silver Wolf build. As you can see here, she has over 3000 HP, 2400 attack, and also of course the most important thing here is the speed, over 160, reaching that breakpoint, that's important. And she also has some crit rate and crit damage, and of course a bunch of effect hit rate, 65. I think she only needs like around 40 to hit her most important buffs, or I mean debuffs, sorry, but she needs like 67 to guarantee all the debuffs. Wasn't quite able to reach that. I think I need like one more effect hit rate roll on one of my relics, but this should be fine. And of course she also has a bunch of energy regeneration because her ult is very important. The icon I'm using is the new Battle Pass Lightcon, which as far as I know is actually one of her best 4-star options nowadays. I was thinking of maybe giving her Resolution Shines as Pearls of Sweat instead, which is also a really good Lightcon for her, of course. I think a little bit better than this one actually, but as you can see it's currently on my Pela and I feel like she needs it a bit more than Silver Wolf does, and it's not like this Lightcon is bad by any means. The traces are all maxed out. And the relics I'm using is a two-piece combination of Sarkados and Messenger, because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to reach that 160 speed breakpoint. And the planar set I'm using is Rushaka for the energy recharge, but also to buff the first character in the team, since I mainly plan to use her with Acheron and also sometimes Archer maybe, who both scale of attack of course. This should be a pretty good set. So let me show you the relics real quick. I of course mainly aimed for speed and effect hit rate, but also a bit of crit, because Silver Wolf can also do a little bit of damage. But yeah, I didn't manage to get effect hit rate and speed on all of these relics. There's still definitely some room for improvement. I also used crit rate here instead of an effect hit rate body piece, because I already have pretty much enough effect hit rate as you saw. So I felt like it was better to go for damage here. And of course speed boots, an attack orb, and an energy regeneration rate rope. So yeah, that's my Silver Wolf. So let's take a look at the team I was using before I got Silver Wolf, which was this one here. For lack of a second Nihility unit, I was kind of forced to use a Harmony unit instead, which is of course not optimal for Acheron, because she wants two Nihility teammates, unless you have E2 I think is the constellation. Sorry, Eidolon, that lowers the requirement for her A4 trace to only one Nihility teammate. But my only option basically was Guinaifen, who, as much as I love her, she's sadly not that great. And I guess I could also have used Sampo, but I really don't like him. He's still level 1, haven't really even started building him yet. So yeah, it was basically Pela against the world when it comes to supporting my Acheron. And it's not just that Bronya is not really an optimal choice here, it's also that nowadays my Saber is using Bronya, so if I'm using Saber in one half of the endgame content, then I can't even really use my Acheron team in the other half. So yeah, all that is to say that just by replacing Bronya here with Silver Wolf, that solves a ton of problems. We now can make full use of Acheron's A4 trace, while still getting a bunch of nice buffs, or you know, debuffs in this case, and freeing up Bronya for my Saber team. And by the way, in case you're wondering, what about Gallagher? Does he not need to be freed up? I can just use Linkshire in this team. It doesn't matter, just any sustain here for the Saber team is fine. So if I need to use the Acheron team in the other half, then yeah, I would still use Gallagher here and just replace him in the Saber team. with someone else. You know, Linkshire, like I said, because those are basically my only two properly built sustains right now, Gallagher and Linkshire. But yeah, anyway, this is not about Saber. It's about Acheron. And I'm actually gonna switch back to Bronir here for just a little bit, because the way I want to do this is I want to see a before and after. So I'm gonna go fight a boss with this team, and then after I've done that and seen how much damage my Acheron does, I'm gonna replace Bronir with Silver Wolf, and hopefully damage should go up by a lot. At least in theory it should. Now as for which boss to actually fight, well, I think I'm just gonna randomly choose one. Let's see, probably this one here. Yeah, for no particular reason. Definitely not because I looked at some leaks to see which materials the next character I want needs. I would never do that. But yeah, let's just go in and take a look at my Acheron's damage in this very suboptimal team. Let's get Pele's defense right there from the light cone, and then also from her ult. And then I guess you could also ult with Gallagher right away to get all the stacks we need for Acheron here. And then we use Bronir's skill. And how much damage do we do? We don't have Bronir's ult active here. And the damage is 430,000. Okay, not bad. And that killed the boss. So yeah, it's not that bad, you know? Obviously could be a lot higher, but Acheron never really was a useless character, right? And even though we are missing out on the A4 trace, Bronir of course also can do a lot. But one thing that is a bit problematic here, we did have the skill buff, right? But we won't always have that. That's one thing if we do longer battles and stuff. Having the skill buff on the exact turn where you want to use the ultimate, it doesn't always work out, because it's sadly only a one-turn buff. And even the buff from Bronir's ultimate, which we didn't have here, only lasts 2 turns. Silver Wolf, on the other hand, as far as I know, all her debuffs last for 3 turns. So that alone should already make a difference. Then of course also the fact that Bronir can't generate any stacks for Acheron's ult. There's just so many factors going into this for why Silver Wolf is definitely the much better option here. But yeah, let me just confirm real quick. Her debuffs are 3 turns. Yeah, 3 turns here on the ult. And yeah, these bugs she implants with her talents also last for 3 turns. And yeah, the stuff her skill does here also 3 turns. Well, I guess this is only 2 turns. But this is only 13% compared to the 20% here. And we only get these if we implant a weakness anyway. So it won't always be there. But yeah, mostly her debuffs are all 3 turns. So, let's change up the team now. Replace Bronir with Silver Wolf. And go straight back in to see how much the damage actually changes. Okay, one thing I failed to consider here is that this enemy, this boss, already has Electro weakness. So we are not gonna get the rest penalty from Silver Wolf's skill, but that's fine, because we should still be able to get a lot of debuffs on this thing. So yeah, let's just do this for now. Now it has Quantum weakness, okay. So if the enemy already has the weakness of the first character, then I guess it just automatically chooses the second character's type. Okay, good to know. Wait, let's apply Pele's stuff again. And then also use Silver Wolf's ult right after that. And now we should have enough stacks for Acheron. Yeah. And let's see. What is the damage looking like now? 650,000. Okay, yeah, that's like 200,000 more than we had before. We jumped up from 400,000 to 600,000. That is definitely the kind of difference I was expecting to see here. Okay, yeah, I'm loving this. And the setup was minimal. We basically just used Pele ult, Silver Wolf ult, and then Acheron ult, and that's it. And yeah, again, another aspect, I already mentioned it, but with this team we also should be able to get Acheron's ult back much faster, because we have one more unit here that applies debuffs instead of buffs. But you know, when the battle is that short, then can't really show that. So maybe I should try to go to MOC 12 or something. To be honest, I'm not really expecting this team to be on 3-star pace in MOC 12 still, despite having Silver Wolf now. I feel like my Acheron still is not at that point. Maybe after I get Cypher, I definitely still plan to roll for Cypher, even though I had to skip her first banner. But it can't hurt to, you know, just try it, to see how many cycles we actually take now with this team. If this team can do it in like, I don't know, 8 cycles or something, 5 would be 3-star pace of course, but you know, 8 cycles might actually be enough, because my E6 Saber can definitely do this in like 2 or less cycles. But let's see, okay. Immediately I'm seeing electric and wind here, so both Acheron and Saber would probably be pretty good for the first half. But with Silver Wolf implanting weaknesses, we should probably use Acheron in the second half. But I'm not really in the mood for fighting Aventurine in this showcase. And also I don't want to have to go through the entire first half just to get to the part that I actually want to see. So I'm gonna save us all some time and just focus on first half here with the Acheron team. So yeah, let's just do this and hope that this goes well. Now, before, every time I tried Acheron in MOC 12, it was a disaster. Most of the time I wasn't able to get even close to 10 cycles, much less the 5 cycles you need for 3 stars. So I'm really hoping that this is gonna go better now. But let's just go in and do this and find out how this is actually gonna go now. Okay, so let's just... let's see, they both already have lightning weakness, so I guess I'm just using the skill in this one for now. Can immediately use Silver Wolf's ult, I don't see a reason not to. Pela, and now we already have Acheron's ult for the first time. Yeah, doing less damage this time, maybe because the opponents here have more resistance, or maybe just because I didn't use Pela's ult. Or I missed some crits, that's also possible. My Acheron doesn't have 100% crit rate, sadly. Anyway, let's use Gallagher's ult here to get some stacks for Acheron. Even his skill does over 200,000 there, nice. And we do have Pela's ult now, but sadly she is stunned. How long are you gonna stay stunned, Pela? There we go. Do this, and then immediately also Silver Wolf's ult. And then we should have Acheron's ult back already. Oh yeah, okay. That's definitely way faster than with the Bronya team. And now we have almost 1,000,000 damage. Okay, we also had more opponents here, so that's probably why. But it's still nice to see my Acheron reach that much. I know for some long-time players this might not seem impressive. I'm still relatively new, I haven't even played this game for a year yet. So for me it's actually pretty good. It feels like we just used Acheron's ult and she's already almost at full stacks again. It actually goes so much faster with this team. Just having one more nihility unit makes such a big difference. It's actually insane. And now we are almost done with this first battle. Okay, and now it's just Svarog, right? Yeah. Let's immediately use Silver Wolf's ult here to decrease their defense. There we go. And implant a weakness on Svarog, I guess. Even though he already has electric weakness. Yeah, that's the thing. We could get even more damage if we actually implanted electro weakness on the opponent instead of them already having it. So this is not even like the best we can do with this team. Okay, Pela didn't get her ult there, but that's fine. I'm just gonna use it right after Acheron's ult there to get some more stacks again. Breaking Svarog. Perfect. Yeah, and now we can use Pela's ult. So far so good. This is actually going really well. And this should also give us back Silver Wolf's ult. Perfect. The claw. Okay, took Pela, that's not good. Let's try to break this thing. Ult again. Yeah, even without Pela, we are still putting out like 600k just with Silver Wolf. Overall, we are making very good progress. We are almost at 5 cycles, there's 25. So I don't think this is gonna be 3-star pace, but we are still on pace for a much better result than I ever got with Acheron in MOC. Okay, now some big damage here. 800k, nice. Love to see that. We're over halfway there now. And I think we can break him here. Yes, we can. Very good. And yeah, also Silver Wolf is getting her ult like every 2 or 3 turns. So we are getting basically 100% uptime on her debuffs. Okay, we're now at 6 cycles. Just keep up all the defense downs. To do, once again, some huge damage. Almost there now. And the next Acheron ult should finish him. 22. Okay, we are almost at the end. And there we go. Okay, yeah. Actually, not bad. It wasn't 3-star pace, but we have 23 cycles remaining. So I guess it was a 7-cycle clear. Again, for long-time players might not sound that impressive, but for me, it actually is. Because so far my Acheron clears have been like at least 15 cycles or something like that, depending on the opponent. So yeah, needless to say, this is much better. And if I do everything right with Saber here now, I'm not gonna include the entire Saber battle here in the video because this video is not about her, but if I do everything right here, I might be able to 3-star still, which would be my first ever 3-star on MOC 12. So let's do this. Okay, there we go. And this is 3 stars. Oh my god, I finally did it. I finally got my first 3-star clear on MOC 12. Thanks to Silver Wolf. Let's claim those Stellar Jade. And it's all cleared. Yes, okay, finally. So yeah, even though the Acheron team wasn't really on 3-star pace yet, it will be after I get Cypher, I'm pretty sure. I was finally able to get 3 stars. Many thanks to my E6 Saber in the second half, but you know, Acheron definitely also finally pulled her weight compared to like my previous attempts with the different Acheron teams that I tried. You know, mainly the one with Bronia that I showed you, but I think I mentioned it already in the beginning, but I tried using Green Iphon sometimes. Didn't work that well. Silver Wolf, on the other hand, does work really, really well. And I'm definitely glad I pulled her. So yeah, to answer the question from the intro, was Silver Wolf able to save my Acheron? Yes, she kinda was. And now that we've answered that, this video is coming to an end. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, then please leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more Honkai Star Rail and other gacha content. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.